We are
live.
on the internet.
Live. Woo!
Boom.
Coming to you from dump trucks of the internet. It's us.
Dump trucks of the internet. Don't Google that.
Don't. No, probably not. Probably.
No, I'm Googling
Probably
it right
should
now.
not. Probably should not Google that.
I mean, I get the reference. We
Live.
are on the internet.
Live.
That dump
Woo!
truck. Boom.
Coming to you from dump trucks of the internet. It's us.
Yeah.
A little red bear thing, yeah.
What a deal.
Right there.
Woo!
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you want to be really cold, Michael, you need one over there too. Both sides. See if I can do this. We need Connor to give us the blue one. Bo Shutta, Curtis.
What in the chat? Woo!
Unix there. Hello, Connor.
Fantastic. Yeehaw.
Plausible Deniability. Pliable. They can't hear Mike.
Oh, really? Oh, the
Did you hear
gremlin is
that?
back. We were.
Thanks, Connor. It's going to take him a second.
What? Oh, no.
Way to go. Can you hear Mike? Mike, talk. I'm going to talk because we can't stare at the chat and wait.
That is true.
It's like 30.
All in the same. All in the family.
So I'm going to put my hand up and then I'm going to start counting by seconds. 3, 4, 5,
2006.
9, 10. 1,018 seconds.
Oh, wow.
No one has actually. No, can't hear Michael. Thank you, Connor.
Woo. Well,
Well, Brook and I will tell you what Michael was talking about. He was talking about how he misses the days of playing Frankenfurter in the Rocky Horror Show live. I know. I'm trying to tell them that part. So what he did was he didn't even go to a theater that was putting it on. He would just stand on a random sidewalk and start singing Sweet Transvestite.
Yes.
And
that's how he made his first $1,000.
He couldn't afford fishnets, so he got long john underwear and cut diamond-shaped holes in them.
Indeed. My personal favorite was not having the proper makeup tools, and so he just had miniature paintbrushes like the ones you use for your minis, and
Well, it was an old trick that he learned back when he was serving time. You can make makeup with things from the commissary and
That's right.
Mixing it together.
Okay, now you can hear me. I'll bet.
Can we hear you now?
I'll bet you anything you guys can hear me. Okay, now I haven't been able to respond to any of that. I've not been able to respond to any of that, and I want to respond now.
Anyway, moving on. We got topics to talk about.
I have to respond.
That's the show, everybody. Thanks.
I didn't tell them what you were serving time for.
I have to respond. No.
All right, improv skills at play right there, Michael. Don't ruin it.
Yes, and
Michael Cross.
Yes, and I was the best Frankenfurter ever.
There you go.
No, I always wanted to play Riff. I always wanted to play Riff, but no one would let me do it. I wasn't cool enough. I had to play Brad. That was.
He witnessed a guy who was dressed up as a nun trying to mug a woman's book club that was walking on the sidewalk, and he jumped out there and he beat them up, and the cops arrested him, and that's why he was serving time. But he was let out like 10 days later. But in that 10 days, he learned how to make the makeup.
There you go.
Using candy.
Using candy.
And fetal.
It was toilet makeup. It was
toilet makeup. Yeah. He wasn't making toilet hooch. He was
okay. So I do several podcasts. This Red Dirt D&D is only one of them. I also do This Week in Oklahoma Politics. I do KOSU awesome. Daily. I do the Okie Geek podcast. Well, I was doing This Week in Oklahoma Politics today, and Ryan Kiesel actually said plausible deniability. And I so badly wanted to go, wrong podcast, wrong show.
Were you like?
I was. I wanted to, but yeah, no. Yeah.
So what do we get? We get 5 cents for that. Is that what that goes into?
That's right. Yes, we get a nickel for every time someone ever says plausible deniability.
Right. We have to prove it, though. We probably won't be able to prove it because
there's the catch-22. Dang it.
Yeah.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, indeed.
So something happened yesterday. Speaking of podcasts, brand new episode of Campaign 2.
Oh, that came out?
Yeah. Woo-hoo! So excited. So excited. For those of you who don't know, Meet the Furries came out yesterday.
Yes.
So far, we had more than 108 downloads of episode 1 of Meet the Furries.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. So good for you guys for sharing.
Thank you guys.
Loving Red Dirt D&D, letting everyone know, harassing your family and friends to listen to this show.
You bet. Hey, and remember, seriously, obviously you're probably subscribed, folks, and you probably maybe have hit the like button and the 5 stars or whatever, but man, leave a review because those reviews bump the algorithm up. So leave a review, please, please leave a review.
You could even click like on this video right now.
What?
You could.
That'd be awesome too.
You could ring that little bell too. That little bell up there.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe and ring that bell down in the.
Oh yes, it's right below us. That's right. It's below Johnnie. It's below Johnnie. Yeah, down below Johnnie. Ring that bell. Let everyone know that when things new drop, which of course we do here on YouTube. We do every Monday. We drop new episodes of Secrets of Monster Island, folks. If you haven't been watching it, that's some funny stuff. Mark and Derek and Aiden and Andrew and I, we just get up to some fun shenanigans. And it's an absolute blast. So check that out.
If anybody got a chance to catch, because I was in the audience, quote unquote, I was watching the Extra Life special. If anybody got a chance, most of that was the Secrets of Monster Island crew. And I tell you what, if that wet your whistle, if you like that, then you should go check out Secrets of Monster Island.
Yeah.
It's really good. It's really, really good. There was a pretty good cliffhanger. Like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago?
That was a few weeks ago. I might be weird on my time.
Where we had the tie, where the secret tie-in, where we finally found out what world this is in. Yeah.
That's a good way to phrase it. I was trying to figure that out. Yeah.
Hey there, Andrew. Hey, by the way, speaking of the Extra Life event, we do have a winner for our $100 gift card to D&D Beyond, and we forgot to mention on Tuesday because Ash and I were talking about so much stuff. We just talked. We didn't even get to the thing we were supposed to be talking about, which is one D&D. We forgot totally about this, but and he's here on our chat, so we do have him here. Dunik.
Right now.
Dunik,
Yay!
Congratulations, Dunik. You are the winner, and we thank you so much. For entering, for helping out. A lot of people put forth money. We were so excited about it. And so, we're so thrilled, Dunik. Thank you very much. And of course to Hal for donating that. Hal
donated it. What was it? I thought they were getting an autographed picture of you as Frankenfurter.
No, I told you I was Brad.
For those who don't know, what is the prize? What did Duke win?
$100 gift card to D&D Beyond.
There you go.
Yeah, $100 player bundle. So
that's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Extra Life. We're still. I mean, the whole thing there is over. But our Extra Life page exists until the end of the year. So if you guys want to go give money through Red Dirt D&D for the Oklahoma Children's Health Foundation, please do. It all goes to kids. We don't see a dime of that. That all goes straight to the Oklahoma Children's Health Foundation, which funds the Oklahoma Children's Hospital, which turns away no children, which takes care of kids, and their families.
Yeah.
So give. It's we had a great 24-hour event. I couldn't do the whole 24 hours. I found out I'm old.
You did 14, though. You did 14 hours, didn't you?
I went. Yes, I went for. I went until about 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. Helped serve breakfast, and I was like, I can't do it.
I got there at 1 o'clock, and I walked around looking for you before I even asked where you were.
Yeah, I thought.
Did you look under tables to see was he down?
If my biggest problem was I was concerned that the next day we had recording. We had to record Red Dirt D&D, and the next day I had to be up at 2 o'clock in the morning to work.
Oh, that's true.
It's like if I was really worried that I was going to make myself sick. So, and like I have to be at work. I cannot call in sick because if I call in sick, somebody has to come in and do my job. If I call in sick, all of Oklahoma knows that I've called in sick.
Right. And then people are calling you, checking on you, and sending fruit baskets. And you know who did fall asleep at Extra Life?
Andrew.
There's many names, but it rhymes with Andrew.
But the only thing is,
if you've seen the picture on the Discord, though, he was rolling with disadvantage.
He had his little girl with him, and I tell you, I've had, for anyone who's had children, if you've ever rocked your child, that is it's just so easy to just go.
That's the somatic component for the sleep spell. I know it says sand or maybe rose petal flowers, but it's just not
a baby.
It's really just rocking back and forth of the baby.
Yeah. So totally understand. Yeah. What was really funny about 5 o'clock between 1 and 5, Aiden ran us through a tier 4 AL game, and Ash proved that they can play a rogue in their sleep. Because Ash had their head down. They're like, a sneak attack. And
Nice now, crit.
Because everyone was critting for them, so they were just throwing in $5 to crit. So I was like, great, double the dice. There it is. So they were able to prove that they could actually play D&D as a rogue in their sleep. It was a great night. It was a great evening. Great fun. We had the Jackalope event, the Jackalope hunt, written by Ash, Aiden, and Connor. Was so good. Was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. And the Extra Life event total raised more than $15,000, which is their best ever. So. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, really, really, really excited. Really, really good stuff there. What else is going on?
Man, so will the Great Jackalope Hunt make a return? I've heard some rumors. Maybe that's just a pick-me-up game that I've heard kind of being bantered a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if that's going to happen.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, I think we're trying to come up with what we might do next Wednesday. I'm a little disappointed. I was excited to play AL down at Edmond Unplugged next Wednesday because I don't work Thursday morning, but they're closed.
Family. God.
So yeah. So
you have to drive down to Game HQ.
Yeah. Well, so I think we're gonna do something online.
AL games.
I think we're gonna do something online. I think that's the plan.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, hey, I went to go see Black Panther yesterday.
Yeah?
I did.
Do tell.
That's a long movie. And it didn't feel like it. Didn't feel like it, except for the fact that we went to go, we'll go to early. Kimberly will get off work early. She teaches. So 3:40. We'll go see the 3:45 one down at Flicks. We'll get some dinner. And we were still not out of there till 7 o'clock at night. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to sleep. It's really good. I think the treatment of Chadwick Boseman, and of course he died, and so the introduction of a new villain that is probably one of the oldest villain characters in Marvel Comics. I mean, he fought side by side with Captain America against Hitler in World War II. I mean, that's how back that character goes. And the fact they are just now, 14 years into the MCU, they're finally introducing this character. And another great brand new hero that she's only been on in the comics in Marvel for, I think, about 5 or 6 years now.
Not long at all,
and so very thrilled to have her in because she replaces another character that ended up leaving at the end of Endgame. So we're very excited about that. The Flicks Brewhouse, wonderful. It's a little bit more expensive, but so it's not something that a couple that are living off public employees can actually afford really all the time. But let me tell you, the food was very good. The fries are so good. If you haven't tried Flicks, get something with the fries because those things are just phenomenal. So the food was very good. It was worth the price. It's just that plus the price of the movie. It's not something that we could do on a constant basis, but very exciting. It was a great experience, and the movie itself is phenomenal. I highly recommend.
So, 2 follow-up questions. One, what made the fries so good? Was it just you think they're battered?
They're battered. They're batter fried, and I had the fish and chips.
It's going bacon grease.
Yeah, it was fish and chips. I was in heaven.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Second, how do you feel about their portrayal of Namor? How do you think they did with him?
It was interesting because they changed his back. Isn't he Atlantean?
He's supposed to be Atlantean,
but
they got weird with him.
They changed that whole thing. I think they were trying to stay away from Aquaman. And so they did more of a Mesoamerican thing with him, and which was cool. But it was a little bit discombobulating knowing Namor's story.
Yeah.
Right.
But since they had to kind of introduce him, and where would you have been this entire time? Why have you not? How are we just now learning about you? They explain all that. So.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It was also kind of weird that the way he said his name, no one else said his name that way in the entire movie.
Yeah. And it was wonderful to see. It's so great for Marvel to show these different cultures on the screen. I think that's important. So it was a clash of cultures, whereas you had the African against the Mesoamerican, the Central American type of characters. And so it was really good. Just really enjoyable. And I highly recommend it. But give yourself some time. Make sure you got time because it is a long movie.
I still think it's long. The most recent Batman film because I don't have 4 hours of my life at a time to get to sit and watch it all at once.
Well, and I think it's long because they spend a lot of time. I mean, had Chadwick Boseman not died, they could have told the whole story in a lot shorter of time. But they had to deal with this. They had to answer the question: Well, who's going to take the mantle of Black Panther, and how are we going to say goodbye to Boseman? Because there was no chance to say goodbye to him. He died before they shot it. So. How do you deal with that? How do you, so there's a lot of things that they added in, they had to add in, or I don't know if they didn't add in, but had it just been the story of, Wakanda versus Namor's people, that would have been a much faster story.
Yeah. Then you got to wait for 7 hours of credits to get to the end credit scene.
There is no end credit scene, folks. We did sit through the whole thing. No end credit scene. There's a mid-credit scene. Then you can leave. Everybody else in the theater left. And we're like, why are you leaving? You got to wait for the end credit scene. No end credit scene. Folks.
Probably knew. Probably looked it up somewhere and saw, There's an app out there. I don't know if it exists anymore, but I used it years ago. That you open this app and you tell it what movie you're seeing. And it will tell you. So if you have to go to the bathroom, you open the app and you tell them what time your showing started. And then you go to the bathroom, and while you're sitting there in the bathroom, it just slowly scrolls by a text of what's happening while you're in the bathroom.
Oh, no way!
The app, and you're right there where the action. It's not copyright. It's just like, so. Then Bob walks over to Jill and sets his drink down and says, "I love you." And then Jill clutches her pearls and says, "Gasp!" And it just does like a play-by-play of what you're missing while you're in the job.
Fabulous. Yeah. I just stopped drinking in theaters, so I don't have to worry about going to the bathroom.
Exactly.
So sometimes I used to go to the movies so late that like it would get like super cold in the wintertime because they shut everything down early. Yes. And I just sit there and start freezing. I'm like, okay, I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh no, we're bundled up. I've got my flannel, I've got my hoodie, I've got gloves. I am
taking blankets.
Yeah.
Well, that's how you smuggle in the bags of chips and
yes.
That's exactly right. I don't know who would do that.
Yeah, you can't do that at Flicks because there are actual waiters who are walking right by you, so you could never smuggle in food. There.
Challenge accepted.
No, because they'll look right at you. They're serving you.
And they will, and I'll go, sup.
You have to be Centauri about it. You just have to own it and make a big deal.
Yes. These are fine chips.
More of these chips. We don't serve those, sir. What? Of course you do. Where would I have gotten them from?
Oh my gosh.
Dunick. Jumbo soda right before Dances with Wolves. Yeah, no. I bet you were dancing.
Yeah. That's why I just don't.
With Wolves was a long movie when people were like, "Oh my gosh,
I know,
it's so long." I mean, and now it's like, it is a long movie, but it's not so long. How can people sit through a movie that long?
Not comparatively. But I actually said, and this is probably about 5 or 6 to 7 years ago. I said, you know what they need to do? They've decided movies are now 3 hours, 4 hours long anyway. They need to bring back intermission.
Let's all go to the lobby.
Yeah. Because first off, it gives everyone a chance to get up, go to a break. It gives the movies a chance to have like a little cliffhanger and then have an intermission. It would give the movie theaters a chance to make more money. So people are going to the lobby, getting popcorn, sodas, et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, why are they, someday somebody's going to do that in a movie.
I think the last time it was done on a large scale was Schindler's List.
Did Schindler's List do it? I never saw Schindler's List.
A lot of theaters did do it. And then I went to an artsy indie theater in Tulsa and saw Birdman.
Oh, yeah.
And they put one in. And I was like, I got talking to the guy at the counter, and he's like, yeah, we put one in all our movies. It doesn't matter if it's an hour and a half movie. We stick an intermission in there. Yeah. Because it's the second time you're going to come out here and buy stuff.
Sure you are. That's why I say. So if anybody were to do it, I think it would be Marvel who would do it first.
But also the hard part is they want that immersion, and if all of a sudden you've got like Candy dancing across the screen singing about going to the lobby, that breaks the immersion.
Well, but that's why I say if they were to actually make it a true cliffhanger, like the end, like in going into a commercial, you're gonna come back and be, if anyone could do it, Marvel, I think could do it. I think Marvel could figure out a way to do it, or Star Wars could figure out a way to have some kind of a cliffhanger to where you can still go get your snacks, come back, go to the bathroom, that kind of thing. But
Lucas isn't in charge anymore, but that would have been a very, he patterned so many things, the screen swipes over, with those kind of nostalgic matinee type features. That Star Wars or Marvel would be the ones that could do something like that, you know. So especially if it was a franchise or a film that you knew people were going to see, even if it had something quote unquote weird in the middle.
Yeah. You know what I feel like would happen too is during the intermission, hey, that screen time, that's real estate.
Uh-huh.
let's put something catchy in there that are going to make people want to sit here and watch it because of FOMO, and then they're not going to go to the lobby.
Well, yeah, that's true. If Marvel was doing it,
becomes the intermission scene.
It'd just be a bunch of Disney trailers for the next 15 minutes. Anyway,
it could be Star-Lord dancing. Have you guys seen the trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun.
I'm the old guy.
Now
so everyone is trying to figure out what, because they know Christmas is coming. They've heard of this thing that Star-Lord did on Earth, whatever. And so they're like, we need to go to Earth and give him the perfect gift. And it's like, what if we got him the perfect person? Who does he really like? Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So they go to Earth to kidnap Kevin Bacon for Christmas.
Kevin Bacon plays himself.
He plays it, as he should.
Now this isn't going to be like a Life Day thing, is it?
Yes,
I think it's going to be Disney's answer to Star Wars. It's Marvel's answer. Yeah,
but unlike what the holiday special tried to do, this is totally tongue in cheek. Let's make fun of the holiday special.
Speaking of, Brook, you know what today is?
It is indeed.
Today is indeed Star Wars Life Day.
Bonjour.
Hug your Wookiee.
Why is today Star Wars Life? Does it say it aired?
There's just a day of the year that it is for Star Wars. This may have been the day that it originally aired. I don't know, but
yeah.
If you guys get a chance, the Riff Tracks version of the holiday special, I own that, and it is choice. It is so good.
Is that the one that makes reference to like the Grandpa Wookiee watching adult films?
He does that anyway. You don't have to reference that. He actually watches porn. There's no referencing that. Grandpa is watching porn. You don't have to. You don't need riff tracks for that. Watch the movie. He's watching porn.
I was a very sheltered child.
Granted, it was CBS special presentation porn, but it was still.
The special presentation logo spins around.
That was, but actually, and that's what I love about. Now, I don't know if you guys have gotten to see Werewolf by Night yet on Disney.
Yeah.
Do watch it; it's fabulous. It's so much fun because it starts out with that Marvel special presentation, kind of like the CBS special presentation thing, and that's what they're going to do with the holiday special as well. But Werewolf at Night by night, watch it, guys. It is so good. It's only like an hour long on Disney Plus. It is so good and really, really fantastic. And talk about bringing back an old school Marvel character, old school. Because Werewolf by Night is from the late 60s, early 70s when Marvel and DC were doing almost all of the Universal monster villains. Yeah. Dracula, werewolf, Frankenstein, because those are free, so you can just throw those out, and Marvel and DC didn't have to pay anything for them. So lots of Swamp Thing would run into like werewolves and Frankenstein, but in Werewolf by Night is the first appearance, and an issue of Werewolf by Night in the 1971 was the first appearance of Moon Knight. So my guess is when they were researching Moon Knight for the show, someone went, "So what is this Werewolf by Night thing?" And someone went, "What? Let's make a special presentation of it." And it's cool. Really good. It's really fun. Really, really enjoyed it. So watch. It's got a classic character from Marvel Comics back.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. No one knows except for the three of us, but we've thrown the script out the window, our list of things. But speaking of stuff coming to theaters, did you see Cinemark's special about Dark Crystal? Curtis mentioned it in the chat. Dark Crystal and Conan are going to come to the big screen.
Conan?
Really?
For limited, for like each of them have 2 dates. So I think first and second, like, it's like a Saturday and a Tuesday of December, like the 3rd and the 7th and the 10th and the 13th or something like that. But Cinemark's bringing the Dark Crystal to the big screen for a limited engagement.
And Conan.
Wow.
And then Conan. Yeah.
All right, chat. what is best in life? Take it away.
Do you want to live forever?
Fantastic.
Oh, I just thought of something that's going to go on my remake list. It's not Conan, but I just thought of something that's going to go on my remake list.
Okay.
You know what? I know what it is. I know what it is.
You probably do.
I know exactly what it is.
Let's jump to that. So there is news today that they are thinking about possibly working on, or who knows, remaking Escape from New York.
Yeah.
The classic John Carpenter 1981, Adrienne Barbeau and Kurt Russell. I just remember Adrienne Barbeau because I had a huge crush on her. Was in that, and how do we feel about Escape from New York remake?
Well, I'm going to tell you how I feel about it, Michael. I'm glad you asked. This is going to be bad news for what we're about to go into in our announcement for the next episode. Hate it. Terrible idea.
Why?
Nothing should be remade. Ever.
Yeah, no, I think things should be remade. There are reasons for remaking things. There are reasons for remaking things, but
no.
This one might have. I truly could be in the middle of this one, because Escape from New York, as is, has just the perfect amount of cheese and action together. You can be a 13-year-old boy and love Escape from New York, and I'm pretty sure that 50-year-old me would still love Escape from New York.
Yeah. Now, if
there's a danger in going on a remake, right?
Yeah. Now, what if they did it as a return, like they did with the Star Wars sequels or Ghostbusters, or it's 30 years into the 30 years later, where they might actually have Snake Plissken, we still got Kurt Russell, him going back in for some reason to
well, that's a sequel. That's not a remake. That's
a return. That's a yes. And now how would we feel about a return to Escape from New York?
Yeah, a return would be pretty cool. Look, all the years that went by, and we got the new Tron, and it was okay.
Yes.
It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it was good. A return, a kickback. I mean, the new Matrix film was terrible, but it was also good.
Yeah.
So instead of a remake, it was almost like they remade the Matrix and shoved it inside the new Matrix movie.
Which has actually worked better for theaters. So hopefully, for movie companies, that hopefully they're realizing that just you've got the actors, just continue the story, just do a sequel. Don't do a reboot, because I mean, let's face it, the Ghostbusters. I loved the female version of Ghostbusters. I thought it was wonderful, but it did not do well in the box office. It did not do well in the box office. Whereas Afterlife, which was a sequel, did so much better. There's probably going to be a sequel to that one they're talking about. So, the returns, keeping the story going. And so I think they've talked about Kurt Russell possibly being in it. They don't know. So I would say in that case, in the case of Escape from New York, let's do a sequel rather than a reboot.
Yeah. I think if they did a reboot, when they do reboots and they have the original person show up in them, if they are respectable to it, like in the female recasting, they had the original living Ghostbusters in, not as Ghostbusters really. They were just like, hey, play a part.
They just did a cameo.
Be the cab driver.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Which was kind of neat. Overall, I there's not many remakes I can think of where I'm like, that was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Especially currently when a lot of stuff is remade, it's just
the remake of Fellowship of the Rings did well.
Remake against what?
The Ralph Bakshi Fellowship of the Rings that came out in 1978.
The cartoon, yeah.
The cartoon, yes.
Yeah.
That was a good live action version of a pre-existing novel.
There are times, when you can do a remake.
Cartoon into so like when they did like Aladdin, the live action version. Did you call that a remake, or did you call that the live action version?
It's a remake, and it was horrible, I guess.
Yeah, I call it the live action version. And see that face you're making? anytime I hear, did you hear they remade something? I'm like, oh, they did. I love The Crow. I've loved The Crow since comic books before the movie ever came out. The sequels were okay. The original was great. And every few years, they're remaking The Crow. And I'm like, I don't get excited. I don't think, I can go back to theaters and see one of my beloved characters. No, I don't want it to happen. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. It's why I mess with perfection.
Okay,
so
that's exactly what I was going to ask Johnny. Was the problem for me is who do you cast that could be Snake Plissken? Like, I don't know.
No, I think
your choice is Jenna Ortega or Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, I think I think
a female Snake Plissken.
It will be. It will be a female Snake Plissken.
So let's bring it out then. What movies do you think could be remade?
In all sincerity, I thought about this. I think
I've got 3.
I think Alien or Aliens would make a great remake because I don't think much in it would change. It would just be modernized. I hope they keep the cassette tape punk feel of it, where it's in the future. We can travel to other planets and cryo sleep for 100 years, but we still got to flip switches and turn knobs and pull levers.
Yeah.
I think
not a Star Trek reboot where it's all clean like an Apple store.
We're still in Kirk era, but everything's a hologram. I think that would be great. I think the Terminator franchise as a reboot would be great because they wouldn't have to change anything. It would just be updated and modernized with new actors and actresses that are fresh today.
Yeah, but they've done the Terminator reboot.
True.
As a series.
I mean, well, no, I mean, as the show, they basically did that when they brought,
the most recent one when they had
the one before that when they had
Hermione
Danny Daenerys Targaryen as
Emily
Sarah Connor. It didn't. I mean, they had a thing with Arnold. It was not good. No, there's a couple of them. First off, one, Flash Gordon. Okay, and not remaking the movie, just doing Flash Gordon. There's been several iterations of Flash Gordon. I'm not talking about redoing the 1980.
Yeah, right. Make a Flash Gordon movie.
Just make a Flash Gordon movie, please. Mm-hmm. Come on. Why are we waiting so long for a Flash Gordon movie? Okay, so that's one. Now, not remaking the Sam Jones classic Queen.
Yeah, don't make that movie. Just make a modern
make a modern day Flash Gordon movie.
Yeah.
Second, all right. And I know this is controversial, but it's been one of my biggest ones. This needs to be remade. Highlander.
I was thinking about that one.
Here's why. One, we could actually do the special effects really well. I mean, I'd love to see Highlander with some really great.
A quickening today would be amazing.
Yeah.
The quickening
today would be really cool.
Second, casting. Why they cast a Frenchman as a Scotsman and the Scotsman as a Spaniard, I have no idea.
Look at Picard.
English
as a Frenchman accent.
But it made no sense. And I mean, come on. Let's actually have a Scotsman play the Highlander. Let's have someone play Connor McLeod. Let's have a Spaniard actually play,
the Spaniard.
The Spaniard. He's actually Egyptian, but that's neither here nor there. He still wasn't Egyptian. He was Scottish. It didn't matter.
Another good reason is you don't have to worry about all that planet Zeist crap.
No, exactly. It removes Highlander too. And the final thing about Highlander, why it needs to be remade, change the ending. That gift he gets at the end, where I can read other people's minds and I get old and die. Do you know how upset the Kurgan would have been had he won and got that gift?
So the ending that we change it to is the Kurgan wins.
Or that.
And gets that gift. And then the police show up and shoot him and he dies.
No, it should have been there should have been something better. That was just it was just kind of a bleh, here's your gift. And I'm like, that's not a gift. I mean, it was so disappointing. But everything else about the Highlander is so great. The storyline, the story, the in-depth characters. I mean, there was so much going on, even stuff that I'm pretty sure ended up on the cutting room floor, like between Connor and his secretary. There was so much more there that they couldn't put in the movie because it was going to be too long. Nowadays, you don't have to worry about a movie being too long. We've just talked about that. And they could actually cast it well. They could put in great special effects. The Highlander needs to be remade. It's just
no sequels.
Yeah. So that's my big one. What else? Brook, you haven't said anything.
What Jerm said here about like Germs last start. Yeah, he said he would love as much as he loves Krull. He doesn't wish to see a remake. They can't make it better. One of my big things there is I love the old school practical effects. Like honestly, 80s, 70s, and 80s horror movies scared me. Like The Thing.
Oh,
yeah. When they're in Alaska,
yeah,
and how grotesque that is, and they were actually in there with it, and it was physically moving. If they did it today, they would be staring at a blank table, and it would all be CGI, and I would be checked out.
Yeah, I still think that they still do classic, old school special effects. That's still because they've realized that after things like The Hobbit and George Lucas's prequels. Yeah. That you cannot get away from that. That's why I think the Marvel movies work so well, is because they actually go out there and they do things. Now they'll add in touches of with CGI to make it a little bit better, but they're still out there doing the thing. So, but I think The Last Starfighter might be really fun. But
that's one of those they're kind of talking about doing like a 30 years later type of thing, and I'm super excited about it if they can do it right.
Yeah, and Krull, we also need a sequel to that. We were talking about that 100%. At one point. That Krull, I need to know about his. They have a kid that rules the galaxy. That, according to the prophecy, I want to see that. He's me that story. Starfighter. He is the last Starfighter. I just want to see that story. So go back to with
just throw in some Enemy Mine, and we are set. I'm telling you,
with Enemy Mine,
that's the crossover trilogy we need right there. So
if they pull off the Last Starfighter remake, all I asked for is, what do you want to? No, what do we do now? We die. We gotta have that.
We die.
That's it. Brook, what do you want to see remade? What would you see remade?
So here is my super hot, terrible take, but hear me out.
Okay.
It's terrible, but hear me out. We need a remake of Batman and Robin. Because done right, with like the Dick Grayson and the Joker and a little grim, this is the fantasy part of it. You get Ben Affleck as old Batman, and then you get, a new Dick Grayson, and then that launches Titan movies and Nightwing, and that could just be really, really good.
Well, have you been watching the Titan series?
The Titan series is fantastic. Oh yeah, the Titan series has been fantastic. I just want to see a Batman movie.
Was hard for me to get through, but after then it took off.
I just want to see a Batman movie where he's actually in tights. Can we stop putting him in this stupid rubber?
We gave him bat nipples, Michael. What more do you want?
I don't want to see him in a rubber suit. Batman does not belong in a rubber suit.
Next up, the Watusi. Is that what you're talking about?
Michael wants to see the bat holes.
No, I don't know. Look, there's a difference. Look.
I loved any time they were in the Batcave.
Open up a Batman comics. He is not running around in a rubber suit.
You're right. However, he was also going after. I mean, the villains were whimsical and.
No, I'm talking about the comics. I'm talking about the actual comic books.
Open
them up. Yeah. He is not in a rubber suit.
No,
he is in
gray spandexy.
Yes.
Well, it's like Wolverine said in the X-Men. He's like, he opens up the locker and is like, put this on. He goes, this? He goes, would you prefer yellow spandex? And walks away.
Yeah. But we've proven that we can actually modernize the comic book look and not put them in big rubber suits.
Yeah.
And we're Batman, who's supposed to be moving around. He's supposed to be acrobatic. He's supposed to be doing all these. He can't even turn his head.
What? Oh yeah, Michael Keaton.
Yeah. It's like, and it's because no, get him out of that. Then the problem is it's all going back to the Dark Knight series back in 1987, Frank Miller's Dark Knight from comic books. And that's where Tim Burton stole it for the 89 Batman. And ever since then, they can't get him out of that rubber suit. Dude, come on. If we're going to reboot Batman, let's do it. Let's put him in an actual, like they do with Captain America, like they do with, I mean, there are several characters that are not in rubber suits. They look more like their comic book characters.
Yeah.
You know,
Deadpool's a great example.
Deadpool,
that Kevlar-y looking, suit that's really flexible. So, for sure. Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Remember that? Remember just going around the pier, holding that bomb over there? Everywhere you go, there's like kids or something. Yeah.
There's nuns over on the side.
There's like a fan film. There's like a fan film thing where they took Adam West, like in different, 1970s, 1960s Batman, and put him in a Dark Knight-esque trailer. And it's so
I've seen that. Yes,
it's so great. It may be like the last Batman trailer or the last Batman movie, and they drop him in there. It's so great because he's got the bomb, and it's so good.
Some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Other days,
that was when they had. That's when they had the shark repellent.
Yeah,
the bat shark repellent. And there's actually, I saw a meme on which was it was Jaws, and you see Roy Scheider and and behind them is Batman with the shark repellent.
Yes, and there was the whole Germs. There's the whole the whole Batman the movie that brought all of the villains together.
And that's where that was from.
Shark repellent came from.
That's where that was from.
Shark repellent is from that one.
Yeah.
The trivia, at the time, the wings on the Batcopter were so heavy they couldn't hardly get it off the ground.
Wow.
And so if you'll notice in the ocean scenes, it's just the outline, the metal outline of the wings, versus when they're at the airport, it's like full metal bat wings on it, and they couldn't get it like more than about 15 feet off the ground because it was too heavy.
That's fabulous. So those are our choices for remakes. What do you guys think? What would you guys like to see? Is Enemy Mine, I think, would certainly be very interesting to see. That's a story that I think was so good, and it was a sci-fi that was unique and different. I would love to see
Someone mentioned a really great one. I'm scrolling back now in the chat. Dunik mentioned Last Airbender. Yeah, if we could get it done right, that would be awesome.
Logan's Run.
That would be an interesting one to play. Like that could really work.
I think you could. I think you could do that, especially nowadays with what's going on with climate change, and everything. Everyone going into a bubble and escaping what's going on in the climate, and you can't. The only way to survive is euthanasia. If you turn 30, you die. And they've got to get. I think you could easily do Logan's Run, especially because it's 50 years old now. And so there's very few people who even remember Logan's Run, so it could easily be told.
And those of us who remembered it would totally go see it.
Yeah, completely, because I think they could do it very, very well. And so that'd be a good one to remake. There's a couple from the 70s and early 80s that I think you could remake and get away with it.
A couple that come to mind that I think you could do well would be Inner Space.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cocoon.
Cocoon, yeah. Oh. You could do Cocoon.
I mean, it was great for its time, the special effects they had in it and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's
a story the thing about those movies, Inner Space and Cocoon, they're movies where if you made a remake of them, there's people who love the movie. I love the movies, but I'm not so, like Krull. It's like, if you remade Krull, it's like, you're not going to make it as good to me as my childhood, was to that movie. But Cocoon, and sure, I mean, those are stories that are fairly timeless, and you could, I think Cocoon would be an interesting one to remake because the story's still relevant.
Yeah.
Yep. Curtis in the chat mentioned The Black Hole. That would be a good one to remake.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It's one of my favorites. And yeah, I'd love to see a remake of that because, again, that's one of those that was so special effects heavy. And all Disney could really do was kind of an animation, like real.
Exactly.
Like, and it doesn't work. But I think today's CGI animation could really make The Black Hole. And that storyline was great all the way through. The story of it was so good that I would love to do that telling again. You know, of course, we know more about black holes. We know that they wouldn't actually survive if they went into a black hole. But
I haven't watched any of this, but recently, and I've heard it's getting canceled because it doesn't have great reviews. But recently, they have remade Quantum Leap.
Yes, I saw the first episode.
I haven't watched any of it, but I saw a headline that there's a huge fan theory that he's doing this because he's looking for someone, and then there hasn't been a reveal yet, but the theory is he's looking for Sam.
Yes, he's looking for Sam. That's in the first episode.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was actually. That was the thing.
Yeah. No, he's looking for Sam.
That's cool.
Yeah.
No, it's see. The problem is I can't watch movies. I can't watch shows primetime. I don't. All my shows I watch are streamed. Well, Peacock streamed the very first episode. But Peacock won't allow you to watch any more Quantum Leap episodes unless you pay the premium price on Peacock. You know how long it took me to finally get the premium price from CBS? I mean, it took like 3 years before I finally bowed. I finally said, okay, I've got to have it for Discovery. And so I'm not, it's going to have to take a lot for me to get the premium price for Peacock. And I think that's why it's not doing well, is because it's not on a streaming service.
Yeah.
And I gotta know that. I saw it on like YouTube Premium for a little bit, but yeah. You know, speaking of Paramount and CBS and Star Trek,
it's a world.
I wonder if that would make a good reboot.
What, Star Trek? Are you trying to say you want to be in? You want to play Anson Mount's character?
No, they've rebooted Star Trek, Michael, and it wasn't all that.
Oh no, okay. I thought you were talking about yourself. No, that was horrible. And
well, how you feel?
I mean, I enjoyed it when it first came out because there was nothing else, so I had to kind of enjoy it. Right. Since then, same thing with the sequels. Same thing with the Star Wars sequels. At the time, I was all for it because there was nothing else. But you look at what they've come out with since, especially with Star Trek, with Picard, with Discovery, with Strange New Worlds. They've really proven that you can tell the story without lens flare and just whatever the heck, the Kelvin's timeline was. Although there is still talks about Star Trek 4.
Every time you say lens flare, J.J. Abrams gets $5, right?
That's right. Chris Pine still wants to come back as Kirk. So they've got it. It's I don't know. I would see Paramount going, you know what? It's not. It's of course it makes them a lot of money. Even the third one wasn't as good. I thought actually third one was actually better. The storyline I thought was better, but it didn't do as well in the box office. But even then, it's still making Paramount money. So but I'd rather see them take any one of their series that they have now
and just keep them going
and make them into movies.
I'd rather see that in a new movie reboot. Yeah.
Yep.
Yours brings up a good point there.
Andor. Which was
Shaka Khan.
Andor.
Now, is everyone up to date on Andor? Because
we watched it tonight,
but I'm okay with spoilers.
You're watching it tonight, Michael?
Yeah, we watched it tonight. We watched this week's.
Okay, I'm gonna be in your DMs in the morning because there's holy crap! What the heck was that moment?
I love.
Don't spoil it, Kat.
I love the fact that the series has been a whole bunch of different stuff. While it was a heist, and then it was a jail. It was, there's just been so much going on with the story. I'm loving it. I am loving Andor. I think
last night was a pretty good Star Wars episode.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right, now what's the don't spoil, but what's the oh my gosh moment from this week's episode?
You'll know it when somebody gets away from.
Oh yeah. Yes. That
Oh,
moment, Kimberly and I were both just like, I had my mouth just. So she fed me a pretzel.
That unique weapon.
Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing.
Oh wait, you haven't watched last night's episode yet.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were watching it tonight. You did watch it.
No, we watched it tonight.
Okay, yeah. The very end, yeah. Just boom.
Yeah.
I want to know who he is. He's somebody.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's an amazing show. Loving it. Loving all the Star Wars things they've got going on. I love all the Star Trek things that they've got going on. Ooh, you want to really upset people? You know what they should remake? Harry Potter.
Oh
no, Michael.
Oh no. It's too soon. And then
please, how quickly did they reboot Spider-Man? Or Batman for that matter.
What I don't get is, so here's Spider-Man and it made billions in theaters, but a new company has the rights to it now, or there's a new actor now. So gosh, I guess everyone on the planet is completely brain dead all of a sudden and has no idea who Spider-Man is and how he got his powers.
Yeah.
Let's start it all. No, just pick it up in the middle of the story.
And that's what I loved about what Marvel did with it.
Origin stories of characters that have had 10 origin stories in the past 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I love about what Marvel did. Marvel just threw Spider-Man in. They just like, okay, Uncle Ben's already dead.
Hulk movies failed, but the Hulk is was one of the best parts of a lot of Avengers movies.
Yeah.
So they were like, you know what, just throw him in. They didn't give no explanation. People had their chance. They saw it. It was terrible. Even Ang Lee couldn't do a Hulk film.
Yeah.
Without it,
Well, Ang Lee messed it up. I mean, we went a full hour into that Hulk movie before we finally. You look at there's no reason to go an entire hour of backstory before I get the Hulk, man.
Well, you needed an hour to get the doves flying away as somebody sped by.
Just have the gamma bomb explosion. That's all I need. Gamma bomb explosion. He turns into the Hulk. 8 panels in, you got the Hulk. Yeah. There's no reason to go a full hour.
2 hours to see him throw a tank.
Yeah, and no, that was and actually the Incredible Hulk was much better. And
which one was it?
Why they now consider that still they canon, even though it belonged at the time to Universal. It was right before Marvel took over its own stuff, and Universal came out, and then it was like Iron Man, and then a month later, Universal came out with the Incredible Hulk. They still consider that canon.
Because that's the one that has the hero serum and the Abomination.
The Abomination, right? The Abomination recently appeared in She-Hulk.
That was a great storyline of you get too much combination going on. You get true serum and some gamma, and man, it's gonna be bad. Yeah. I mean, that was a really great storyline.
Yeah, so it's fantastic, and that's why I love the fact that they brought back that actor to play the Abomination in She-Hulk. By the way, She-Hulk, fabulous, guys. I highly recommend it.
There's so much on my plate to watch.
There is. We're trying to keep up as much as possible. It's just there's so much, but right now I'm spending. How much time do I have? 2 minutes. I'm spending all my time watching. I'm playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. It's been out for 3 years. I finally have. I finally got a Switch, and my son has loaned me his Breath of the Wild. And holy cow!
Have you got to the puzzles yet? The temples where you have to stand up and actually move around to do the puzzles.
You don't always have to do that.
Do it though. Do it though.
You can also
do where you can actually stand up and move around.
That's what controllers are for now. No,
I
have no idea.
Get off the couch.
No, I mean I do stand up and play because but I don't. No, I'm using the controllers. But oh my gosh, it's so immersive and so huge, and I'm like, but yeah.
Are you a completionist?
No. No, I was with, by the way, N64's Mario 64. Yeah. I did get all 120 stars on that and did talk to Yoshi.
What?
Yeah, I have done that. And if I had Breath of the Wild and had time, maybe, but I just want to get through the story. So I will try to do as much as I can because you still have to, although you can't technically grind like you can in old RPGs where you just run around in a circle until you got experience points by you don't do that anymore. So
if you kill 100,000 pigs, and get the Sword of Truth, then
But but it's enjoyable. It's wonderful. It's worth the price of the admission just to stand on a mountain and watch the sunrise.
Oh yeah, there's the whole reason I got a Switch.
Oh, it's incredible. So, but cool. I've got it plugged into my big screen, so I'm not playing it on the thing. I'm playing it on my television, and it's wonderful. It's 8:00, folks.
Go away.
Woo! Go be awesome. Get some rest.
Yeah. Let's see. I want to make sure we thank you so much to Curtis Germs. Oh gosh, I saw Dunick was in here. Connor. Yeah, Woo! You guys are phenomenal. Andrew, so good to see you.
Yay!
Yeah. Oh my gosh, so many people. Great conversation.
Fantastic chat.
You guys are fantastic, and we love you very much. Be safe. Have fun. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Michael Cross.
Johnny Payne.
Brooke Bullock.